Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. We're back, and the number has to reach 1 on the little clock she gave him from the future, a clock that he made. If the number reaches like 1, it can diverge the timeline enough for something to change, and hopefully that'll be enough to save Mayuri. Hopefully that will be enough to remedy this whole situation. And it seems like he's getting a callback from the dude about the pin. I guess we're going to see if that pans out. Needless to say, I'm just excited to see what all they're going to have to do in order to get not only the time machine working again, but also if they're able to reach the divergent point and potentially save Mayuri. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this up on screen. This is Steins Gate, Episode 16, Sacrificial Necrosis. Here we go.
ゲストが make me please pin badge。ユウが持ってきたのとセームだったのよ。
その男がピンバッジの制作を依頼したんだな。そいつはどんな男だった？
どんな？そうね。Like a barrel。
バレルタイターか。
タイター？ No, no. Just like a barrel。
バレルって日本語で樽のことだよ。
樽？
Yes。Just a taru。or a balloon。
樽や風船のこと？
樽風船。
その男の連絡先は？
Sorry。Private information. Nothing。
取りに来るんじゃない？
作るのに1週間。
Like a barrel or a balloon. So he was fat. That's Daru. It has to be Daru.
注文せずに帰ったそうだ。
そっか。
明日のタイムリープマシンの完成を待ち、時間を遡れば、その男が何時頃やってきたのか聞き逃していた。
Hey、らっしゃい。
あれかが風船のようなシルエットを。
Yep, you're right.
誰？
ゲゲオカリン。天主の親父さんが見つからなかったらかわいそう。
Wait a second.
その時はせめてバッジを見せて架空のタイターを作り上げる作戦。
こんなことをして鈴葉が喜ぶとでも思っているのか？
天主から誰にも言うなって言われてんだけど、あのタイムマシンは過去にしか飛べないらしいんだ。
今言わないと機会を永遠に逃しちゃいそうだから言うけど、私さ、君たちには本当感謝してるんだ。ほんのちょっとでもラボメンの一員になれてよ。岡部倫太郎、きっと未来を。
きっと未来を変える。今みたいな自由な世界に変えてやる。別れが必然ならば、最初から俺たちと仲良くなどならなければよかったと。
ひょっとして橋田至から聞いた未来を変えることが父さんの意志だったか。
そのためならお前自身はどうなってもいいというのか？
そこでまた君たちみたいな友達を作って自由に生きていく。
それじゃあ行くよ。
大丈夫みたい。ほんとすごいよ君は。FG204。ねえすずさん。
Yeah, I think it might be.
何？これって。ああ、それはね、父さんがつけたタイムマシンの名前。私の自転車？タイヤを外せば入るかなと思って。ありがとう。わかった。
え？
マユシ、すずさんのお父さんが誰なのか分かっちゃいました。ずっと思ってたんだ。二人はなんかお似合いだなって。これは二人が親子だったからなのです。ダルくんです。
はい。
それはジョークになってないでしょう。まずバレルって樽って意味でしょ。樽、ダルくん、ダジャレがいたレジスタンスを作った人の中にはオカリンもバレルタイターさんもいたんでしょ。シーンを独自に研究できて、オカリンのリーディングシュークリームに
リーディングしたいな。
について知ってる人ね、ダルくんしかいないでしょ。富士204フューチャーガジェットのことだよ。
未来ガジェット。
そしてね、この横にも文字があるでしょ。
Seconded it? Oh!
フューチャーガジェット204セカンドエディションバージョン 2.3。
ネーミングセンス。
It makes perfect sense.
父さん。
Oh, that's weird.
そういう時はパパと呼びなさい。
こんな時くらい変態はやめろよ。
Oh, man.
父さん、私
絶対に見てる。母さん可愛かった。ロリ顔で背が小さくて
Oh, for
巨乳
God's
の
sake.
希望。
Daru! You asshole.
それは内緒にしとく。
Oh.
気をつけて。私は大丈夫。きっと IBN5100 を手に入れてみせるから。そして必ず君たちに託す。それじゃ35年後にまた会おう。君たちにとっては数時間後か。
Aw.
鈴葉。
Damn.
Well, technically, they will see her again in the future. It's not that urgent.
Yeah.
秋葉原ラジカン屋上の人工衛星が消滅したというニュースが入ってきました。
このピンバッジ、私たちのイニシャルだったのかな。岡部の O、橋田の H、椎名の S。
ああ、じゃあ M がマキセで A がアマネってことだね。
この値が変わっていない。
今の天音さんが IBN5100 を持ってきてから変わるとか。
Oh.
結婚して孫がいてもおかしくないわね。
つまり僕はこの年にしてひ孫の姿を拝めると。
That'd be weird.
ひいおじいさんらしくドーンと構えてね。
Braun?
ミスター・ブラウン。手紙。芦田鈴。
もしかしてすずさん？
マジで？なんでブラウン氏が？
昔俺が世話になった人からの手紙だ。
今どこに？
亡くなったよ。
No.
10年前だ。
あなたにとっては数時間前のことかもしれない。今は西暦2000年の6月13日です。失敗した。失敗した。失敗した。失敗した。失敗した。
失敗した。失敗した。私が私だということを思い出したのはほんの1年前だった。タイムトラベルはうまくいかなかった。修理が完全じゃなかったんだ。父さんは悪くない。私が悪いんだ。175年に飛んでいればよかった。2010年に寄り道すべきじゃなかった。手に入れられなかった。ごめん。ごめんね。使命を忘れてただのうのうと生きてきた。許して許して許して許してもしも時間を戻せるならあの日の私を引き止めないようにしてほしい。
He can't.
こんな人生
Email.
無意味だった。聞かせてください。橋田鈴さんの亡くなった状況を、それがどんなものでもこの胸に刻みつけておかないと。
あまり言いたくはないんだがな。自殺だ。自宅で首をつってな。そんなことになる1年ぐらい前から精神的に不安定になってな。それまでは明るくて優しい人だったんだが、
このままではマユリが。
オカリン D メールを送るの？そんなことしたら全部消えちゃうんだよ。さんとの思い出も全部なかったことになっちゃうんだよ。
分かっている。
だからお願い、未来を変えてほしい。オカリン。
もうかれこれ10年ほどになるかな。あの人には随分世話になった。せめて俺が見とってやりたかったんだが。
ですか？
ああ？病気で亡くなったんだよ。あの人の住んでた家は。
この自転車。
ああ、それはすずさんがすっげえ大事にしてたんだよ。
She leave the
俺
computer
と
in
す
her
ずさんは
house.
最初、
Maybe.
いわゆるお隣さんだったんだ。それがある
What did
時
he send?
俺の家が火事で全焼してな。全部なくしちまった俺をすずさんがこの家に下宿させてくれたんだ。縁もゆかりもない俺になんでこんなによくしてくれるんですかと尋ねたことがある。そしたらあの人は笑ってこう答えたよ。巡り巡って人は誰かに助けられて生きている。だから君もいずれ誰。こいつはすずさんの持ち物だった。何の数字かわかるか？病床でいつもこいつを眺めててな。この数字変わる前なのかな、変わった後なのかな、私は変えられたのかなって 最後までなんか気にしてたんだよな。
It's gone up.
ダイバージェンスの数値は変わっていた。1% は超えていない。この時間に山手線が動いている。前へ。
どうしたんオカリン。
なんでもない。鈴葉、これで世界は変わったのか、救われたのか。
I don't know. That's oh.
That was a crazy episode.
You ain't kidding. I wonder what he sent, what email he sent back that changed everything.
I'm sure it was just don't stop her.
Maybe. But she died of illness instead of committing suicide, which... That's... Still, though, I mean... I don't know. If the world hasn't changed enough, though...
It hasn't moved to an alternate, timeline. It hasn't moved to timeline B.
Because the time divergence
But
hasn't
they were
started
assuming
yet.
it's all those lines are going to go to the same place, so Mayuri's always going to die. But it's I don't think that's entirely accurate.
I feel
like the end thing is CERN wins on this timeline, and moving to a timeline where CERN doesn't win is basically the alternate, because that's such a big world affecting thing.
Yeah.
Whereas one girl dying or not doesn't really affect that much.
Actually, if you think about it, it does.
It does and it doesn't. It doesn't compare to an organization winning and controlling the world. Know what I mean?
But one death affecting everything. For instance, if Mohandas Gandhi does not get thrown off of the train in South Africa because of racism, does he become the cultural icon and thus free India from the Brits? I mean, the smallest things can sometimes have the largest impacts. For instance, there was a 9/11. Today's 9/11, which I think is the day we're recording this is 9/11. So, there was one person in on Airlines Flight 11 that was flying out to a gravesite. It was actually you've seen the movie Psycho, right? Mm-hmm. Anthony Perkins, Norman Bates. Mm-hmm. Anthony Perkins died September 12th, 1992. His wife he was buried in Los Angeles. His wife lived in New York. His wife was flying out of New York on American Airlines Flight 11 on September 11th to go visit his gravesite on the date of his death in Los Angeles. So she was flying out there, and she got on there, and, that was that. You know who else was going to be on American Airlines Flight 11? Seth MacFarlane. Right before Family Guy takes off. Imagine that. Imagine 2001, Family Guy's in its second year, and they're about to be canceled, and then all of a sudden, Seth MacFarlane dies. World would be, the world of American television comedy would be a lot different, wouldn't it?
Probably.
I mean, the most infinitesimal things have sometimes the biggest impacts, and we don't even recognize it. We don't even realize it until it's already happened, and by the time it's happened, we don't have time to think about it because it's in the past, and once it's in the past, there's nothing you can do to change it. I mean, it's the ever inescapable flow of time. It just goes, and there's nothing we can do about it. So, all in all, I don't know what all has changed 100%, but I don't think they're out of the woods yet. I think Mayuri still might be in danger, and I think that Suzu, I don't think her story's 100% done yet, because Okabe can still go back and keep her from using the time machine. That's the thing. If he can go back an X amount of time, he can stop her from using the time machine.
It depends. It depends on if they're about to find out in this next episode that she did actually get the IBN.
If she did,
for them.
Well, if she did...
So remember, John
that's-
Titor originally left the IBM at the Shrine, didn't he?
He did, but here's the problem.
yeah.
John Titor was active on like online.
I've never visited the year 2000.
That's what I'm saying.
John Titor died in the year 2000 in that one timeline due to suicide, and John Titor lived probably through that year, but then died from an illness after.
No, she died around the same time.
Probably around the same time, but
From
either
the
way,
illness. But I think John
either
Titor...
way, that was the whole thing. John Titor was saying, I've never visited the year 2000, because at that point it was true, but it wouldn't be true because they didn't time travel to the year 2000, but little did they know they were going back to 1975 and would grow up through the year 2000.
I don't know. I don't know if that's 100%
That
on the...
explains that to an extent, I
Well,
think.
I don't think that's 100%. That, to me, that's a little bit too clean cut. I don't think she is 100% John Titor now because she died in 2000. I think, well, John Titor, like, I don't know what the full story behind John
Titor
Titor is.
Thinking about the fact that she was John Titor when she came from the future, and she's lived in like 3 different time eras right now.
I don't know. That's the thing. She might be. Here's the thing about it. There can be multiple inferences of her in the same timeline.
She was on At Channel in 2010 telling them, I've never been to the year 2000, and that was the truth.
But here's what I'm saying.
She was going back to 1975 and probably didn't think about the fact that she could very well live up to the year 2000. Well,
and here's what I'm saying. She's the one with the time machine. Who's to say that she... like, they haven't already gone through this with her because here's the thing, multiples of her can exist on the same timeline if she goes back and is able to live up to the point where she jumped back. See, if Mayuri if Suzu would have lived all the way up until 2010, she could have interacted with the Suzu that was still here from the future. That's the thing. Multiples of her can exist in different timelines, and I'm thinking that she didn't just go back to 1975. I think in one timeline she did.
You're assuming multiples of her can exist, but she did die 2 different ways before she got to that point.
And so
maybe that's the thing, is that multiples of her technically can exist. Maybe that's the whole fate key. Maybe that also might have something to do with Mayuri's death at that point, because
maybe
if her and Okabe become time travelers later on, then there could be a problem where she can't live past that point because she might run into a different version of herself on the same timeline.
Maybe.
Maybe this has affected the timeline enough at this point to stop her other self from being in that part of that timeline because there wouldn't be a need for it. Like,
yeah.
This shit can get real complicated.
It can.
When you start thinking about it, yeah.
And honestly, that's
it. That's if that's the case. We really
I
don't
welcome
know that, and that's a theory on a rule.
Yeah, I welcome complexities like this because I think trying to work it out, and if you just so happen to hit the nail on the head, it's honestly very satisfying. I love doing that. But anyway, we're gonna move on to the next episode because I just want to know what's gonna happen next. So we're gonna end this one here. And we're going to hop into it. So if y'all want to see that, be sure to stay tuned. And I guess until next time, everyone, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you then, everybody. Peace out.